Oh man, I tell you, parenting is no joke. Night Terrors! I wasn't sure what I was going to think of this one, going back in, because my memory of this one has always been that it's just kind of an episode that's there. And having rewatched it, I still kind of feel that it's an episode that's there. So, this is the one that opens with one of the best hooks ever in Doctor Who, as far as I'm concerned. The idea that a child is so scared that his desperate plea for help resonates all the way to the TARDIS, shows up on the psychic paper, and the Doctor makes a house call. I love that. I love that because that plays into the more fairy tale elements of Doctor Who that the show is capable of, that I don't necessarily think should be the overriding approach of the show, but when they get played up every now and then, they tend to make me smile. And Matt Smith had, during his run, some great sort of fairy tale moments. I mean, the very beginning of his run with the idea that as far as Amelia is concerned, he's her imaginary friend as a child who came back. That's very fairy tale. And this opening and this hook, this cold open, very fairy tale in a way that I feel works and fits within Doctor Who. And then we actually get the story itself, and it's fine. There's some neat elements, there's some cool aspects, but it's just kind of there. Part of it, unfortunately, is we are slightly dependent on a child actor. And all due respect to child actors, acting is not easy, no matter what age you are, but good child actors are rare. Good child actors for TV are even rarer. And that's a big part of why when you have kids in prominent roles, they're just there to be cute or precocious, and they're not expected to carry more weight than that. And so, because this kid has to be terrified and super scared, he doesn't do a horrible job selling it, but I think for what they could have realistically expected a child actor to be capable of doing, they leaned on him a little too much. I think the expectations for him as a young actor were a little higher than they should have been, because they shouldn't have expected to find a young actor who was going to deliver that level. The level that would have been needed to really elevate his part in the story. The whole idea of the things he's scared of being put in the cupboard is an odd one. And honestly, almost feels like they're trying to do Fear Her, but better. Actually, in many ways, this feels like taking another crack at the fundamental kernel of Fear Her, and not have it just suck. And it doesn't. It's better than Fear Her, but maybe it's a kernel they should not bother trying anymore, because Fear Her just had nothing good in it, like at all. And this, while it's fine, I feel like this whole concept of a child that has some sort of alien thing going on around them, and their fears are impacting the world around them. I feel like this feels like the best Doctor Who's going to do that concept, so let's leave it alone at this point. The thing with the dollhouse, it's kind of neat at first, when Amy and Rory end up in there and they realize everything's fake. The food is wood. The clock doesn't have actual hands on it. They're just painted on. That's actually kind of cool and kind of creepy, and I wish it's an idea that had been in something else, because it's just sort of basically there to serve as a standard haunted house-ish set for them to wander around in. And similarly, the dolls are very insert creepy semi-faceless monster here. I know they creep some people out severely, but I think that only happens if you have some sort of inherent creeped out thing around dolls, which I don't. It reminds me of what I said about the movie It, which is that if you don't have an inherent fear of clowns, I don't actually think it's that scary, because they're banking on it just automatically being creepy and not doing the extra work to make it creepy. I felt that about the clown in It. I feel that about the dolls in this. So, And again, that doesn't make the dolls bad. It just makes them unexceptional. And that's kind of the thing across the board with this whole episode. And I especially feel that given we're coming off of a story arc dealing with Amy and Rory becoming parents, losing their daughter, finding her again, but having missed out on knowingly raising her, I feel like there should have been a connection made to that. Between that and the difficulty that this father is having raising a child because he's in over his head and he doesn't know how to deal with it, which, as a parent, yeah. That's your standard operating mode, pretty much. I don't know what I'm doing. Somebody help. Unless you want a secret. Nobody knows what's going on any more than you do. So, anyways, I feel like it's a really missed opportunity that there wasn't a connection drawn there. I almost feel like in some ways, at the very least, Amy, if not both Amy and Rory, should have been present for the father's realizations, for his fears, for his kind of freaking out and his panic, so that they could, by proxy, get a taste of elements of parenting they never had. You'd have to completely rebuild the episode in order to do that, because the narrative as it stands just forcibly removes Amy and Rory from the story and literally sticks them in the cupboard. This story does to Amy and Rory what Let's Kill Hitler did to Hitler. Just stick them in the cupboard. We'll deal with them later. But I really feel like there should have been something done with that. The performance of the father is very good. He's incredibly relatable, incredibly human. He does a great job of letting out the exasperation that you feel as a parent, where you're like, there has to be a better way to do this. I must be doing something wrong, but you also don't know what would be better, or if doing something different would make it worse, or if maybe you shouldn't even be bothering. Am I so bad at this that I shouldn't even be parenting this child? Those are legitimate feelings and fears that, as a parent, you're going to have at some point. He did a really good job at selling them. I was quite impressed with that. Matt Smith gives a good performance, and he has some great lines and some great turns in terms of his mood and his approach to things. His sort of bouncing between, oh, everything will be fine, I'm an expert, to, oh my god, the stuff in that cupboard is real. Do not open that cupboard. We can't deal with that. We need to open the cupboard. Like that jumping back and forth with him, Matt Smith does really well. He does the doctor turning on a dime possibly better than any other doctor, or at the very least, he's in the upper echelon of the ones who do that. Those quick mood shifts. Oh, he's really good at it. But overall, it's just kind of there. And the other thing is, the reveal that the boy himself effectively is an alien, I have mixed feelings on. The first is that the reveal of it is kind of cool, in terms of the execution of the father learning that, of him in a moment of emotional exasperation just bursting out something that he's always known but has kind of been filtered out of his brain. She can't have kids! And then suddenly realizing what that means for the situation he now finds himself in. That was really well handled as far as the doing that reveal, doing that turn. But overall, here's the thing that annoys me about that sort of twist. It's not bad, and it doesn't wreck the narrative or anything, but I also don't think it adds anything to it either. I don't think that there's anything you gain out of the kid himself being the source of the events going on that wasn't already the case when we presumed the kid was simply being affected by something that was causing everything to go on. I mean, his fears is the root of everything, no matter what. Having him not even be human doesn't, other than just sort of the coolness of the reveal moment, it doesn't add anything. It doesn't reframe enough of the story. It's just a twists so that there's a twist. It kind of marks time, which makes it harmless, I suppose, but also unnecessary. So, yeah, that's kind of where I am on Night Terrors. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. It's not one, God, I haven't rewatched it in years, and I can't imagine I'll rewatch it again anytime soon, because it's just kind of there. And it works. It's not bad. It doesn't annoy me. There's nothing about it that's, like, fundamental, oh God, why would they do that? But just a lot of, Although, bonus, it's got a bulldog. I love bulldogs. So, yay for Bernard. So that's Night Terrors. What are your thoughts on it? Whatever they are, drop something down in the comments. Let's talk about it. You'll also find down in the description a PayPal tip jar if you feel like donating a little bit of support my way. There's also a Patreon if you feel like contributing on a more regular basis. Plus, the usual stuff. Like, subscribe, share this video. But you don't have to do any of it. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm not your dad. Because at the end of the day, you're the council. I'm just running the meetings. And until next time, this council is adjourned.